England cricket team Jos Buttler century inspires England to series-clinching ODI win over Australia. England 302-6. Australia 286-5. Full scorecard as England win by 16 runs. England 302-6. Australia 286-5. Chris Woakes celebrates with teammates after taking the wicket of Marcus Stoinis of Australia. Photograph Bradley Canaris, Getty Images. A series win wrapped up at the earliest opportunity. For once in Australia, it was England's to celebrate. In a match in which the hosts clawed back the initiative, the tourists kept their cool in the final throws to seal a 16-run win that gives them an unassailable 3-0 lead in this 5-match contest. They'll toast their glory tonight. Maybe even lift the midnight curfew. If anyone deserves to be out all night, it is Jos Buttler, who scored a quite brilliant 5th ODI century, with England struggling to set a total. Buttler took his place in the middle in the 23rd over. At 107 for 4. He started patiently and his first half-century took 52 balls. The next 50 just 31 balls, including a remarkable 7 balls in which he went from 72 to 96, with 3 4s and 2 6s. Remarkably, this 83-ball effort was the slowest of Buttler's 500s. It was off the final ball, to push England to 302 for 6, that he went to 3 figures. Australia v England, 3rd ODI as it happened. Read more. Owen Morgan was, yet again, exemplary. It's 7 innings since his last ODI 50, but his captaincy has never been better. That he defended 302 with England at bowler light, after Liam Plunkett injured his left hamstring having bowled only 8 balls, was remarkable, as during the Test series, Steve Smith's was the wicket to get, and while England managed it here, just as it looked like he and Mitchell Marsh were putting together a game-winning partnership. The circumstances were controversial. Mark Wood got one to leap and find Smith's edge, but the ball was dying on the way through to Buttler. The wicketkeeper did brilliantly to dive one-handed, low to his right and get to the ball. Umpire Chris Gaffney gave it out, but Smith was reluctant to take Buttler's word for the catch, while the third umpire Kumar Dharmasena took his time to review the footage. Smith watched the first replay and, such was his confidence in the decision being overturned, returned to the crease and remarked his guard. The on-field decision was upheld and off Smith stomped. Furious, with his side 181 for 4, 122 left and 16 overs to get them. Eventually, the ask was 22 needed off the final 6 balls, thanks largely to an excellent Stoinis half-century, which featured 3 4s and 2 6s, when Stoinis was caught in the deep by the substitute fielder Sam Billings. The remaining 3 deliveries were a formality. Upon winning the toss and bowling first, Australia realised early on that this pitch would reward invention. Cue an array of cutters and wrong uns that exploited the surface's agreeability and brought a couple of English dragons. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. England batsman Jos Buttler jumps for joy as he reaches his century. Photograph Glenn Nichols, AFP, Getty Images. In the 23rd over of the first innings, Joe Root, having been presented with his 100th ODI cap by the England Rugby League star and Sydney local Sam Burgess, was dismissed for the first time this series. Josh Hazlewood, returning to action alongside Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins for the first time since the Ashes, fooled Root into chopping on for 27, which not only gave him an average 164, but also had England in trouble at 107 for 4. Unsurprisingly, with their 3 marquee quicks back together, Australia were able to put on their best display in the field. England weren't allowed to run roughshod in the first 20 overs as they had done in Melbourne and Brisbane. Cummins, the pick of them, managed to produce the series' first maiden to Jason Roy, who eventually fell to the right armour, lashing out and finding Aaron Finch at cover. Alex Hales, having taken 7 balls to get off the mark, chipped his 8th off Stoinis to mid-on in the last over of the first power play, leaving England 45 for 2 after the first 10. The final word. How to make an Ashes summer more compelling podcast. Read more. When Bairstow was bowled by a googly through the gate after Ruth's dismissal, Morgan and Buttler came together to pick up the pieces. Unlike Buttler's, Morgan's was an innings of high drama. An inside edge from Stark missed his leg stump by a whisker when he was on 2. An over later, he reverse-swept Zampa through the legs of wicket-keeper Tim Paine. On 13, he drove aerially back to Stark, who couldn't react quickly enough in his follow-through. 5 runs later, he was dropped by Smith at mid-wicket off a short ball from Zampa. In an attempt to get himself out of this funk, he charged the quicks like a rookie matador trying to meet a bull head-on. It worked. For a bit. Morgan's only 6 coming as he ran down the pitch to hook Stoinis over square leg. But, having made it to 41, an indeterminate prod, similar to the delivery he chopped on at the Gabba, produced an edge through to the keeper. Despite the iffy knock, the England skipper overtook England's fielding coach Paul Collingwood to become the country's second highest run getter in the format. Ian Bell is first, while also taking over as the leading run scorer in England-Australia ODIs. Buttler's blockbuster set was supported brilliantly by Chris Woakes, who matched the Centurion at the death. Woakes provided 53 of the 113 the pair put on in the last 11 3 overs, which included a 4 and 6 off Stark in the final over, before getting a single to take England to 300 and ensure Buttler was on strike for the crucial final ball.